As a kid, I believed in Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy. As an adult, I believe in democracy, God, and Shark Tank. As a pro wrestling fan, I believe in selling a move. Praise or criticism shared between talent and creative. And no question, no doubt, I believe in Joe Hendry, the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Champion. Thank you, Mr. Joe Hendry. What has it been like with Impact Wrestling?
Jim, are you trying to do a switching career here? You're trying to become a pro wrestler or an announcer or something? That was very impressive. That was a great intro. So it's been amazing with Impact. It's been an awesome opportunity. It's been, to be quite frank, everything that I could have wanted it to be. All I've ever really been asking all this time is for an opportunity to show what I can do, and that is starting to come to fruition now. It's been amazing to see the reactions build over the world. We were just in Australia, and it went super, super well, and I'm hoping to take that momentum and move forward into Slammiversary. I'm very much enjoying being the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Champion. I'd like to think I'm making the best of the opportunity. And also, I'm looking to learn every single time that I get out there. I'm looking to just get a little bit better every single time. And I just want to continue to get better, continue to learn about this business, continue to work my way up the ladder here.
So tell me about getting ready for Slammiversary, and just this roster at Impact Wrestling is just so eclectic. There's so many different styles, types of talent. It really is a nice mix of talents. So what is it like being a part of this roster, the roster itself, and then, as you said, getting ready for Slammiversary, one of the biggest shows of Impact Wrestling has for the year?
Well, actually, Ryan Myers, I believe, summarized this perfectly. Put up a tweet just before we went to Australia and said this roster that Impact Wrestling has right now is everything that's great about professional wrestling. And, I hate to agree with Edge's bitch number 2, but on this occasion, I'm going to have to agree. I think he summarized it perfectly. I think that, when wrestling is done well, it's a variety show where there's something for everyone, and I feel like that's what this roster has. It has something for every... Hello?
You're there. Go, Joe.
Hello? Yes. For everyone. So it's very exciting to be a part of this roster. You have world-class professionals across all different styles, and it's highly competitive as well. It is highly, highly competitive. It is pushing me as a professional wrestler. I'm looking to, just gain ground every match that I have, bring something new to the table every match that I have. I'm really hungry to get to the top, and it's a very difficult challenge. It's the hardest job that I've ever had, but it's the best job I've ever had.
When you signed with Impact Wrestling, how did you get that opportunity? And what is it like working with the behind-the-scenes people that are steering the ship?
So the opportunity came about after I had done, discussions kind of began after Ring of Honor folded, basically. So that's when everybody was released from their contract at the same time. So that's when initial conversations started. There was a little bit of rumbling, but when the deal was actually done, because I was doing a show in England at a place called North Wrestling, and I was about to walk out the door, and the photographer said, "Oh, you didn't get any photos today." And I thought, damn it. I'll just get a photo done. So I literally just took my t-shirt off, got the photo done. He posted it, and I was like, actually, that's one of the better promo shots I've had. And I just decided to be cheeky, and I put a tweet online, and I says, "Major companies, you've left some money on the table." And it was just a promo picture of me, and people just started tagging Impact Wrestling, tagging Scott and a bunch of other companies, and then Scott and I talked on WhatsApp again, and then I sent Scott a message that basically said, "Look, I'm confident that I can get over in a couple of months, and give me a chance, and if I can't, then past, so it seems to have gone not too bad.
Yeah, I'll say. Joe, you really resonated with the fans, and you are the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Champion. And to see them put a title on you, that has to also raise your confidence. But Joe, I've spoken to you before. You just seem like a very confident person. Is that just something that's always there for you, even during those tough times during COVID, when it was hard to come back over here, get any work, do anything like that and all? Did you always just stay upbeat, positive, and very confident?
That's a great question. I'd love to sit here and give you some BS answer that I always knew, and I didn't. For my whole life, in my head, I did always know that I'd be successful. During lockdown, I have to confess, there was a moment when we came out of lockdown, I was doing a local show, and I was doing one of my entrances, and there was about 250 people in the room, and everybody was laughing and having a good time, singing along to one of my entrance songs. And I remember at that show saying, if this is as big as it gets, I'll still do it, because I'm the best at this. And it's that thing that Chris Jericho says, he says the best in the world at what he does. Now, I know mine's a bit of a cheat, because I am the only wrestler that does musical parodies, but, if there were multiple, I'm sure it'd still be the best. But I remember thinking, there's no one better at mixing music and wrestling and entertaining the fans than I can, and I felt like I owed it to myself to continue no matter what. The opportunity with Impact came along, and it's interesting because when you're on the indies, you think you're doing everything that you can possibly do, and then when you get to somewhere like Impact, you start to become the sum of the people that you hang around. So, when I see Moose, and the way he trains every day, how seriously he takes his diet and that side of things, you understand, maybe I've not been maximising everything when it comes to my physique. And then you see, Alex Shelley training with the younger wrestlers in the ring before every show. When you see established wrestlers who are already on multiple television programs go along to train independently of their wrestling events, multiple times on a weekly basis, you realize, actually, these people are world-class athletes, and they're approaching professional wrestling in the same way that, Michael Jordan would approach basketball, or Tom Brady would approach football, which is an interesting example, because this actually happened to play with Tom Brady. But my point is, you get to this level, and then you realize, I've only scratched the surface on what I could possibly do. There's so many more gains to be made here. So I now realize that I've got to this level, and I have a thirst to get to the top. So I'm trying my best to do that. And the fans are, every loop that we do, the fans are with me just that little bit more, and I'm not stopping. I'm just trying to get better every show.
Well, I believe in Joe Hendry, and many fans believe in Joe Hendry. And Joe, you talked about song parodies, because that's something that you are noted for. You're also an excellent pro wrestler. So to combine the athleticism with the entertainment. I'm curious now with Impact Wrestling, because we've seen the Kenny the Stripper. We've seen some things that you've done there already. How does it just evolve, and how does that come up, the ideas for what you're doing there, entertaining, and also how did it come up for you to do I Believe in Joe Hendry?
So that happened. So I wrote that song, believe it or not. Most people are shocked. This has been my entrance theme song since 2019. A lot of people don't know that, but it's the entrance song that I had in Ring of Honor as well. I revamped it for Impact Fest, and I filmed a new entrance music video. This is the first time it's really kind of got over on this scale. But I will piggyback when I wrote that song. And it happened when I did a vignette to debut in Ring of Honor, did this debut vignette, and I kept hearing this riff over the top of it, and I was like, man, I wish I'd recorded that riff. It just in my brain, it just kept coming through, and I thought, well, maybe that's a different song. But that was a bit slower, and I was putting together an entrance song, and I was like, what are the best entrances of all time? And I was like, I think the Hollywood Rock theme from 2003, to me, it's mostly influenced by the rock Hollywood rock theme in 2003, Christian's entrance from around that time, because I kind of liked the way that was as well. I thought that sort of beat would fit my character. Crossed with Queen was the inspiration, and actually the intro section is very like International Love by Pitbull. So that was what I was going for there. So yeah, I took about 2 weeks of my life just to what's the best entrance theme I could possibly write, and I'll keep that theme for as long as I can. I'd like to have that theme my entire career because I'm happy with it. You know, so that's kind of how it came about. And then what's cool though is I think what missing from me in Ring of Honor were the character elements. So when we got to Impact, we started to think, okay, so how can this theme song impact upon what I'm doing in my promos and my in-ring? And that's when you see me backstage in Impact Wrestling. I'm clapping along to the songs and such. So I think Impact has helped me get the most out of my ideas creatively in a way that I have been able to do at this point.
Well, Impact Wrestling is 8 p.m. Thursdays on Access TV. And transitioning to that, Access TV is also known for airing concerts, a lot of music, a lot of just documentaries on music artists. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe Access TV can have a special of Joe Hendry parodies.
I mean, that seems to make business sense to me. Who do we need to talk to make that happen? I think that is best for business right there. Jim, I like talking to you. I always like talking to you.
I think if we get Dr. Ross involved, he wears many hats for Impact Wrestling. Maybe we can get this as a go, Joe.
Yeah, he's listening somewhere, so hopefully so.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up.
I know it's...
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm sure you're going to say this, Jim, because I think we're on the same page here, but I was going to say, we should probably talk about the massive event that's coming up, Slammiversary.
That's exactly right, Joe Hendry. That's why I believe in you. Yes, we got to talk about Slammiversary. It's such an exciting event. You are the digital media champion for Impact Wrestling. And what does it mean to you that, I mean, you just went to Australia. That's awesome. And just now coming back, and Impact is doing so much. What more can you say about Slammiversary, one of the biggest shows of the year for Impact Wrestling, if not the biggest?
Yeah, this is a huge show for us. This is a big venue. This is going to be a showcase for what we do. The card is absolutely stacked from top to bottom. The fact that you have myself and Kenny King on the countdown to Slammiversary shows you how stacked this show is going to be. So you're going to have to tune in before Slammiversary as well to see what happens when Joe Hendry faces Stripper Kenny. But it's a huge honor and privilege to be the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Champion going into this event. It's quite surreal for me, actually. You know, I've been watching Impact Wrestling since 2002, 2003, I want to say. So to be a part of this event is, it's a huge deal for me. And to walk in there as a champion as well. I got into professional wrestling a little bit later than most. It was about 14, 15 when I got obsessed with it. And I remember being on holiday when I was 15 years old, swimming around in the pool, just imagining what it would be like to have a title in Impact Wrestling, and now here it is, so it's to be doing that walk into Slammiversary. And I hate, we got to be honest, we're going to have to be real here. Kenny King is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated professional wrestlers in the world today. His professionalism and consistency over such a long period of time is very overlooked and underrated in my view. I think Kenny King is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I am one of the best entertainers in the world. So this is going to be a very exciting contest.
Well, I want to thank you, Joe Hendry, and also shout out to Kenny King and Dr. Phillips High School, Orlando, Florida. I had to get that in. Sorry, Joe, but I had to get that in. And I'm going to end it with this, and if you could just answer yes or no, because I want to get you out of here on time. There were two things I wanted to ask you. Growing up in Scotland, very accomplished amateur wrestler, excellent amateur wrestler. Curious, yes, no, did you have Olympic aspirations?
So I started amateur wrestling at 26 years old. So The answer is no, because I know to wrestle in the Olympics, it would need to be my life, and pro wrestling is my life. I only ever did amateur wrestling. I started when I was 26, and because I knew I could win. For whatever reason, I just had this unnatural strength and ability to grapple that just seemed to be a natural aptitude that I had. I just felt when I was wrestling at, local MMA clubs and jiu-jitsu clubs, and, I was just beating everybody up all over the UK. I'm being absolutely serious. There are champions in mixed martial arts organizations that I used to have competitive rounds with. So I remember that happening and me thinking, yeah, I think I got something here. But I only ever did it because I wanted to legitimize myself as a professional wrestler. So also, I remember Kurt Angle telling me that he felt if I was to keep doing amateur wrestling, I was going to potentially be taking years away from being a professional wrestler. So my goal was to get to the Commonwealth Games. I believe, obviously I did that, and I believe I ascended beyond that by winning 2 national titles in freestyle and Greco. So when that was done, at the last amateur wrestling match I ever had, I won the Greco national championship. So I went out on top, and then it was time to focus on pro wrestling. So the Olympics wasn't in my journey.
That's amazing, Joe, that you started 26. And I want to thank you so much for everything. Hopefully at Slammiversary, we will see Joe Hendry get the victory, I believe. And maybe we'll have bagpipes at Slammiversary too. Thank you, Joe Hendry.